Let's see how much Morgan Freeman really earned throughout his entire career. Morgan Freeman's journey to becoming one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood started incredibly humbly. Back in 1964, when he was just 27 years old, Freeman earned a mere $150 for playing a man on the street in The Pawnbroker. This was essentially SAG minimum wage for extras at the time, around $125 per day in the 1960s. What's fascinating is that this film starred Rod Steiger and was actually nominated for 3 Academy Awards. But Freeman was so unknown that he went completely uncredited. That same year, Freeman landed his first significant role on Broadway in Hello, Dolly, playing Rudolph, earning $10,000 for the entire run. This was actually decent money for theater work in the mid-1960s, roughly $200 per week. The musical starred Carol Channing and was such a phenomenon that it ran for 2,844 performances, making it one of the longest-running musicals in Broadway history at the time. In 1966, Freeman appeared uncredited as a party guest in A Man Called Adam for just $200. This Sammy Davis Jr. film was groundbreaking as one of the first major Hollywood productions to deal seriously with jazz music and racial tensions. Though Freeman's Blink and You'll Miss It appearance barely registered, the film also featured Louis Armstrong in one of his few dramatic acting roles. Freeman continued working in theater with The Nigger Lovers in 1967, earning $5,000 for playing Cream Puff in this off-Broadway production. Despite the controversial title, this play was actually a serious examination of racial prejudice in America. The following year, he made another brief film appearance in Where Were You When the Lights Went Out as a Grand Central commuter for $250. This comedy starred Doris Day and was inspired by the famous 1965 New York City blackout that left 30 million people without power. The late 1960s saw Freeman establishing himself in New York theater. He earned $6,000 playing Kaguravu in The Dozens in 1969, a Broadway production that explored African American culture through the lens of the traditional verbal sparring game. That same year, he made $4,000 in the off-Broadway production Exhibition playing David, an experimental play that pushed theatrical boundaries. Freeman's first major theater breakthrough came in 1970 with Pearlie, where he played the title character and earned $15,000. This musical was revolutionary, as it was one of the first Broadway shows written, produced, and starring African Americans. The show won 2 Tony Awards and established Freeman as a serious stage actor capable of carrying a production. His film career slowly progressed with Who Says I Can't Ride a Rainbow in 1971, where he played Afro for $2,500. This children's film was actually Jack Klugman's directorial debut, though it failed to make much impact at the box office and is now virtually forgotten. Then came the role that would define Freeman's early career and introduce him to millions of children. From 1971 to 1977, Freeman played multiple characters on The Electric Company, including Easy Reader, Mel Mounds, Dracula, and Vincent the Vegetable Vampire, earning an estimated $100,000 total over 780 episodes. What many don't know is that Freeman initially hated doing children's television and considered it a step backward in his career. He was reportedly embarrassed when adult fans would recognize him as Easy Reader, but this PBS show actually provided him with steady income during lean years and taught him invaluable skills about connecting with audiences. Freeman's film career continued with the lead role of Chris in the low-budget 1973 film Blade for $3,000. This blaxploitation film was shot on the streets of New York with a tiny budget, and Freeman later called it one of his most challenging early roles due to the harsh shooting conditions. In 1978, Freeman earned $10,000 playing Uncle Hammer Logan in the TV film Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry. This adaptation of the Newbery Medal-winning novel dealt with racism in Depression-era Mississippi and was considered groundbreaking television for its unflinching portrayal of segregation-era violence. The late 1970s saw Freeman juggling theater and television work. He earned $8,000 for the short-lived Broadway play The Mighty Gents in 1978, which closed after only 9 performances despite featuring a talented cast. He made $5,000 for the off-Broadway production White Pelicans that same year, and $7,500 for the TV film Hollow Image in 1979, where he played Ralph Simmons in this crime drama. Freeman's theatrical roots remained strong as he performed in 2 Shakespeare productions in 1979, playing the title role Caius Marcius in Coriolanus for $10,000 and Casca in Julius Caesar for $5,000, both in Shakespeare and the Park productions. These performances showcased his classical training and helped establish his reputation as a serious dramatic actor. Freeman's first taste of work in 1983, earning $5,000 for 5 episodes of Another World as Dr. Roy Bingham, and returned to theater with Buck for $7,000 playing Fred Milley. The soap opera work was steady, but Freeman was eager to move beyond daytime television. His film career gained momentum in 1984 with Teachers, where he earned $25,000 playing Lewis alongside Nick Nolte. That same year, he made $20,000 for Harry and Son with Paul Newman, and returned to theater with Medea and the Doll, earning $6,000 as Dr. Winston Cruz. Working with established stars like Newman was crucial for Freeman's career development. Freeman's salary began increasing significantly in 1985. He earned $30,000 for Marie playing Charles Trauber, $35,000 for That Was Then, This Is Now as Charlie, and $25,000 for the miniseries The Atlanta Child Murders as Ben Shelter. He also made a small but memorable appearance in The Twilight Zone as Tony for $5,000, appearing in the anthology series Revival. Television films continued to provide steady work, with Freeman earning $40,000 for Resting Place in 1986 playing Luther Johnson, a role that dealt with military racial tensions. He also made $30,000 for Fight for Life in 1987 as Doctor. Sherrod Everything Changed in 1987 with Street Smart, where Freeman played Fast Black for $50,000. This breakthrough performance earned him his first Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. The film was made on a tiny budget, but Freeman's electrifying performance as a volatile pimp caught everyone's attention. Director Jerry Schatzberg later said Freeman was so convincing that real pimps on the New York streets where they filmed would approach him thinking he was actually in the business. Post-breakthrough, Freeman's salary jumped dramatically. He earned $150,000 for Clean and Sober in 1988, working alongside Michael Keaton in this powerful addiction drama that showcased Freeman's ability to play compassionate authority figures. That same year, he made $50,000 for the TV movie Clinton and Nadine as Dorsey Pratt. 1989 was Freeman's golden year with multiple significant roles. He earned $200,000 playing John Rollins in Glory, the Civil War drama that won Denzel Washington his first Oscar. The film was shot in Georgia, and Freeman later revealed that wearing the Union Army uniform while filming in the South was emotionally overwhelming, connecting him to his ancestors who had actually fought in similar battles. But the role that truly launched Freeman into stardom was Hope Colburn in Driving Miss Daisy, for which he earned $500,000. This film, made on a modest $7.5 million budget, became a cultural phenomenon and earned Freeman his second Oscar nomination. The chemistry between Freeman and Jessica Tandy was so authentic that many people assumed they had worked together for years, but they had actually just met on set. The film won Best Picture, making Freeman part of Oscar history. Freeman also appeared in Lean on Me that year for $300,000, playing the controversial real-life principal Joe Louis Clark, and earned $200,000 for Johnny Handsome as Lieutenant Drones, working alongside Mickey Rourke. The 1990s began with Freeman establishing himself as a premium voiceover artist, earning $50,000 for narrating Ken Burns' The Civil War documentary as Frederick Douglass. His distinctive voice was becoming as valuable as his on-screen presence. He then commanded $500,000 for a memorable cameo as Judge White in The Bonfire of the Vanities, proving that his post-Oscar nomination status allowed him to earn serious money even for small roles. He also earned $10,000 for the Earth Day special as Walter Sampson. Freeman's salary reached the seven-figure mark with 1991's Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, where he played Azim for an estimated $1 million. This Kevin Costner blockbuster was hugely successful, grossing over $390 million worldwide. Freeman's portrayal of the Moorish warrior was so popular that many fans considered him the best part of the film, even more than Costner himself. Working with Clint Eastwood in Unforgiven, 1992, earned Freeman $750,000 for playing Ned Logan. This Western masterpiece won Best Picture, and Freeman's friendship with Eastwood, formed during this production, would prove incredibly valuable throughout his career. Eastwood specifically wrote the role with Freeman in mind, and their on-screen chemistry was so natural that many scenes were improved through improvisation. Freeman also earned $400,000 that year for The Power of One, playing Gil Piet, a film set in apartheid-era South Africa. In 1993, Freeman took on directing duties with Bofa and received no acting salary. In 1996, Freeman earned $3 million for Chain Reaction, alongside Keanu Reeves as Paul Shannon, $2.5 million for leading Mal Flanders as Hybbil in this period drama, and $100,000 for narrating the IMAX documentary Cosmic Voyage. His voice work was becoming increasingly lucrative as his distinctive delivery became one of the most recognizable in entertainment. The late 1990s brought considerable consistent big paydays and established Freeman as a premium leading man. He earned $3 million for Amistad, 1997, working with Steven Spielberg as Theodore Jodson, $5 million for Kiss the Girls, 1997 as Detective Alex Cross, and $100,000 for narrating the Long Way Home documentary. In 1998, he commanded $5 million for Deep Impact playing President Beck, and $4 million for Hard Rain as Jim. The new millennium saw Freeman firmly established as a $3 to $5 million per film actor. He earned $3 million for Nurse Betty, 2000, as Charlie, and $2 million for Under Suspicion, 2000, as Victor Benazet, where he also served as producer. In 2001, he returned as Alex Cross in Along Came a Spider for $5 million, proving the character's box office appeal. Freeman's earning power continued strong in 2002 with $5 million for The Sum of All Fears as DC-1 William Cabot, and $4 million for High Crimes as Charlie Grimes. He even earned $50,000 for narrating the music video Waitin' on Joe, showing that no project was too small for his distinctive voice. 2003 was a particularly lucrative year with multiple high-paying projects. Freeman earned a confirmed $10 million for playing God in Bruce Almighty, his highest single-film payday to that point. The film was a massive hit, grossing over $484 million worldwide, and Freeman's portrayal of the Almighty was both humorous and dignified. He later admitted that playing God came with unexpected pressure, as people would stop him on the street asking for actual blessings and advice. That same year, Freeman made $3 million for Dreamcatcher as Colonel, Abraham Curtis, a Stephen King adaptation that Freeman later admitted he did primarily for the money. He earned $2 million for Levity as Pastor Miles Evans, where he also produced $1 million for the direct-to-video Guilty by Association as Lieutenant Redding, and $100,000 for narrating the documentary A Tale of Two Schools. Freeman's 2004 was dominated by his Oscar-winning performance as Eddie Scrap Iron Dupree in $1 Million Baby, earning $5 million. This Clint Eastwood film reunited Freeman with his Unforgiven director, and finally earned Freeman his long-overdue Academy Award. He also made $3 million for The Big Bounce as Walter Cruz, $100,000 for narrating The Hunting of the President, $50,000 for the short A, Remarkable Promise, and $200,000 for the documentary series Slavery and the Making of America. The mid-2000s saw Freeman juggling blockbusters with smaller projects. In 2005, he earned $3 million for An Unfinished Life as Mitch, $5 million for Batman Begins as Lucius Fox, $4 million for Unleashed as Sam, $1 million for The Dark Knight as Harvey Dent for narrating War of the Worlds, and $1 million for March of the Penguins. His voice work was becoming as valuable as his acting, with March of the Penguins becoming a surprise documentary blockbuster that grossed over $127 million worldwide. Freeman's association with the Batman franchise proved particularly lucrative over multiple films. In 2006, he earned $4 million for Lucky Number 11 as the boss, and $3 million for 10 Items or Less as him, a low-budget film that showcased his ability to carry intimate indie productions. 2007 was another banner year, with Freeman commanding top-tier salaries across multiple projects. He earned $10 million for Evan Almighty, reprising his God role from Bruce Almighty, making it his second highest single film payday. He also made $3 million for Gone Baby Gone as Jack Doyle, $2.5 million for Feast of Love as Harry Stevenson, and $5 million for The Bucket List as Carter Chambers, co-starring with Jack Nicholson in this crowd-pleasing drama about two terminally ill men fulfilling their dreams. Freeman's earning power remained strong in 2008 with $5 million for Wanted as Sloane, working alongside Angelina Jolie and James McAvoy in this action thriller, and another $5 million for The Dark Knight, reprising Lucius Fox. Christopher Nolan's Batman sequel became a cultural phenomenon and one of the highest grossing films of all time. The late 2000s continued Freeman's streak of high-paying roles. He earned $3 million for Thick as Thieves in 2009 as Keith Ripley, and $2 million for The Maiden Heist as Charles. His biggest payday of 2009 was $10 million for Invictus, playing Nelson Mandela in another Clint Eastwood collaboration. Freeman spent months studying Mandela's speeches and meeting with people who knew the leader personally, and his portrayal earned another Oscar nomination. Freeman's 2010s began strongly with $4 million for Red 2010 as Joe Matheson, working alongside Bruce Willis, John Malkovich, and Helen Mirren in this action comedy about retired CIA agents. In 2011, he earned $3 million for Dolphin Tale as Dr. Cameron McCarthy, a family film that became a surprise hit. Freeman continued commanding substantial salaries throughout the 2010s. He earned $2.5 million for The Magic of Belle Isle 2012 as Monte Wildhorn and $5 million for The Dark Knight Rises 2012. Completing his lucrative trilogy as Lucius Fox. In 2013, Freeman had multiple high-paying projects, $10 million for Olympus Has Fallen as Alan Trumbull, $5 million for Now You See Me as Thaddeus Bradley, $4 million for Oblivion as Malcolm Beach, and $5 million for Las Vegas as Archie in this ensemble comedy with Robert De Niro, Michael Douglas, and Kevin Kline. Freeman's 2014 showcased his versatility across different genres and budgets. He earned $4 million for Transcendence as Joseph Tagger, $5 million for Lucy as Professor Norman working with Scarlett Johansson, $3 million for Dolphin Tale 2 reprising Dr. McCarthy, $2 million for 5 Flights Up as Alex Carver, and $1 million for voicing Vitruvius in The Lego Movie, proving his voice work remained highly valuable. The mid-2010s saw Freeman balancing major studio films with smaller projects. In 2015, he earned a confirmed $1.7 million for Last Nights as Bartok, $2 million for a cameo in Ted 2 as Patrick Megan, and $1.5 million for Momentum as Senator. Freeman's 2016 brought $6 million for London Has Fallen, reprising President Trumbull, $5 million for Now You See Me 2, returning as Thaddeus Bradley, and $4 million for Ben-Hur as Sheikh Ilderim in the remake of the classic epic. Freeman's later career continued with substantial paydays. He earned $5 million for Going in Style, 2017 as Willie Davis, teaming with Michael Caine and Alan Arkin, and $3 million for Just Getting Started, 2017 as Duke Diver. In 2018, he commanded $5 million for The Nutcracker and the Four Realms as Drosselmeyer in this Disney fantasy. Freeman's recent work has maintained impressive earning power well into his 80s. He earned $2 million for The Poison Rose as Doc, $7.5 million for Angel Has Fallen, reprising President Trumbull for the third time, and $1 million for narrating Brian Banks. Even during the pandemic, Freeman continued working, earning $2 million for a cameo as himself in Coming Next America 2020. Freeman's most recent projects show his enduring marketability. He earned $2 million for Vanquish in 2021 as Damon, $3 million for Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard 2021 as Senior, $2 million for Paradise Highway 2022 as Garrick, and $1.5 million for The Minute You Wake Up Dead 2022 as Rick Bigelow. In 2023, he continued with $1.5 million for The Ritual Killer as Dr. Mack, $2 million for A Good Person as Daniel, and $1.5 million for 57 Seconds as Anton Burrell. Most recently, he earned a confirmed $1.7 million for Gunner in 2024 as Kendrick Riker, proving his appeal at age 87. Adding up every confirmed salary and reasonable estimate from this comprehensive career analysis, Morgan Freeman has earned approximately $378 million from his acting career spanning 6 decades. This staggering figure doesn't include residuals from classics like The Shawshank Redemption, endorsements, production fees, or other income streams that could easily push his total entertainment earnings well over $400 million. If this breakdown of Morgan Freeman's incredible $378 million career journey amazed you, you absolutely need to check out our other celebrity earnings videos. Click the video on your screen right now to see which other Hollywood legend built an even bigger fortune, or subscribe for more shocking salary breakdowns of your favorite stars.